a daily basis, I am putting my calculators up. All right? If you lost your calculator, all right, you need to go get your new one. All right? But those of you guys, because I have not mentioned it, this is the last day. All right? So if you need to borrow a calculator, I want to let you borrow it. All right? Anybody else need to borrow a calculator today? All right.
Only stinking.
All right, here we go.
Let's do this.
All right, now Sebastian, much better job last week. We're not, no sarcasm. Just let me teach. Ask questions when you need it. We're not in a hurry, because sometimes when you rush and you say things out of turn, it kind of messes people up. All right, so I'm really going to try to concentrate on allowing everybody to get their chance, all right, and speak up when it's necessary, all right? Some of you guys, Connor, you're always making A's, so, I'm not focused on you as much, all right, but you still have to ask me questions. Same with some of the girls who've been making straight A's, all right? You got to let me know, all right, when you have a question. I'm going to concentrate now on people who should have asked questions, and they didn't. Because now I'm going to put you in the spotlight more. All right, you're going to have to answer the questions. All right? And again, it doesn't matter if you don't know something. I promise you math is easy. Simple, simple, very simple. But for whatever reason, that last test didn't connect. And that's one of the most important sections. So make sure you go home and review your mistakes. And then bring it to me if you're not sure why you made those mistakes. All right, that's a very important chapter. All right, very important. All right. Now, if you weren't happy with your last test, you're going to do things differently.
Indeed.
All right, you're going to speak up. All right. Now, today, we're involved in figuring out more about numbers. And my job is to try to help you understand numbers. All right. So again, we're going to look at this carefully. All right, today we're going to solve using a proportion. All right, we're going to solve using a proportion. All right. Now, first of all, can anybody tell me what percent actually means? Remember what percent?
No.
Percent. So if somebody says you got a 50%, what does that mean?
Half.
You got half. All right, so can anybody tell me what a century means?
100 years.
So what do you think a percent means?
Out of 100.
Out of 100. That's the logic. Percent means out of 100. Percent means out of 100. So here we go. Listen to me. When you write a proportion, it's always going to be the percent out of what? 100. All right? Now listen, here's how I want your brain to think about this, and I want you to write this down for sure. The top represents the part. The top represents the part. And the bottom represents the what? The whole. All right? So when you say I've got 50%, does that mean you got 50 out of 100? No, it might mean you got 2 out of 4. But it just means the top number always represents the part, and the denominator always represents the what? No, always represents the whole. It's part to whole, part to whole, part to whole. It's just specifically when we say percent, we're showing that it's out of what? 100. That's what percent means, out of 100. So if you got a 75% on your test, that means you got 75 out of 100 questions. But usually, is there 100 questions on the test?
No.
No. That could mean that you got 3 out of 4. All right? There's lots of ways to represent percentages. All right? But when somebody says specifically percent, that means out of 100. That's important. So again, this is how we're going to be setting it up. Part to whole, and then percent over 100. Now, in this case right here, there is an equal button, or not equal button, there's an equal sign between the two fractions. All right? Now, I'm going to explain now how I want you to address this. 64 is what percent over 100? So right off the bat, we don't know what the percent is, so it's x out of 100. Everybody with me on this? Is equal to. Now, a lot of my kids didn't really understand what I meant part to whole, but I want to see if you guys understand part to whole. 64, is that the part or is that the whole? What do you think, Julia? Exactly. That's how I want you to do it. 64 is the part and 200 is the what? Whole. So now what you're going to write down is x over 100 is equal to 64 out of 200. Now, I personally want everybody to look at that and say, obviously, the answer is 32%.
Yeah.
Because
Amen.
what do? I look from 200 to 100 and I can just do what? Divide by 2. Because we want to make it out of 100. Is everybody with me on this? So that's 32%. All right, now that's how I want you to think about it. I want you to think of percentages as part to whole, part to whole, part to whole. In a minute, I'm going to show you another way where we can do is over of, but I don't like is over of. And some of you know about is over of, and you talk to me about is over of. I don't like is over of because that doesn't help you understand it's a fraction is generally a part to a whole. All right, is everybody hearing me? All right, so let's take a look now at question number 2. What percent? So they're asking the question right now. Put your hands down. What percent? So you would say n over 100 is equal to. Now, what percent of 12 is 9? Now here's where it starts getting a little tricky. Which one is the part and which one is the whole? Sebastian, do you know? Yes, 9 and 12. All right? So we're going to say 9 over 12. All right? Now, here's another way I want to, bless you, bless you, bless you. Some kids have learned this. I like to look at it as part to whole. But some kids like to look at it like this. Is over of. Do you guys remember that from last year? Is over of, right? And so is the part and of is the what? Whole. So in this case, of, what number? The 12 is the of, and 9 is next to is, so that's the numerator. Is everybody with me on this? All right. Now, we're not always going to use a calculator. All right. So I want you to look at 9/12, and I would like everybody to just say 9/12 I know reduces to what? 3/4. And so if you have 3/4, you're at what? You should know 75%. So the answer is 75%. Now, your job as a student is to say, did you know what 3/4 represent? If you didn't know 3/4 was 75%, think of it in terms of coins. If I have 3/4 in my pocket, I have 75 cents. And that 75 cents is out of $1. So that's why they got 75%. Is everybody okay? Everybody okay? Anybody have any questions so far? All right. So do you guys like the is over of? Yeah, most kids like is over of. I personally don't because it doesn't help me with the word problems. Right? All right. So again, let's take a look at number 3. Let's see how we're doing. All right, Jesse. All right, I'm going to set this one up for me.
Okay, so can I just say like x over 100?
Yes, you can say x over 100.
So x over 100 equals 2 over 80.
Exactly. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Now, at this point, I don't really see how it's easy to convert 100 to 80. Do you agree with me? So from our test, to solve a proportion, we have to now do what? Cross multiply. You with me?
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to, we could reduce 2 over 80 to 1/40th, but does that matter since I'm going to use my Ever since when I use my calculator. No. So we would say what? Hold on a second. Sorry.
2 times 100.
Yes.
200
Yes.
divided by 80.
That's exactly right. So I want everybody to write down on their paper now this. You don't have to do the cross multiplying. What I do expect you to be able to do is I do expect you to say, well, I just know that's 2 times 100 divided by what? 80. Jesse said that perfectly. Does everybody hear me on that?
Yeah.
Does everybody agree you can do that?
Yes.
Now, some of you guys, I'm telling you, I don't want to call anybody out. But if you're not understanding, now's the time to speak up. Yes, what?
So can you also divide 2 divided by 80?
I know, I'm not arguing with you guys. You guys we've already had that discussion. All right, and I said you can do it that way. I just don't teach it that way. All right, I want it to be orderly. Every time you cross multiply and divide, that's how I would want you to learn proportions. Cross multiply and divide. All right, and when I do that, Jesse, what did it come up to be?
Oh, it came out to be 2.
So we would say 2.5%. 2.5%. All right. So let's move on. Number 4. All right, Julia. Beautiful work. And then, can you tell me what I'm multiplying? And then what? You're awesome, girl. Tell me what that is. Shh. Exactly 76? I want, it says round to the nearest tenth. 76.2%. Is everybody else happy with that? All right. Julian up front.
Oh, yeah.
So what am I doing now? You set up number 5.
It's x over 100.
Good.
And then you do 10 over 80.
Wow. Good job.
And then you
Now relax. Come on.
Yeah, I can't do
No.
this. 100 times 10 is 1,000.
All right.
And then x equals 80, so you're going to do 80 divided by 1,000.
Nope.
Or 1,000 divided by 80.
1,000 divided by 80. Cross multiply and then you divide. All right. What did you come up with?
80, and that is 12.5, and you round to the nearest 10, so it's going to be 13.
Nope. 12.5%.
Oh, 12.5.
Because the decimal, right? The tenth.
Oh, my bad.
That is the
That's
10th.
Yeah.
That is the 10th. All right, Will, you're up.
You do x over 100
X over 100.
equals 630.
Good. Now, in this one, you could do mentally. Because what can I reduce 6/30ths?
You can reduce it to 1/5.
Right. So that's 1/5.
So it's 100 over 5, which is 20.
Yeah, that's how I want you to do. X equals 20%. All right. Is everybody okay with that?
Oh, I have a question.
I'm listening.
What was number 5? Oh, okay. What was number 4?
Come on. It didn't work out. Stay with me now. All right, Vivian, you're up. Number 7.
So it would be x over 100.
Good.
And then it would be 100 times 15, which is 54,500.
And then. Perfect. 62.5%. All right. Number 8. Avery. Colin, by the way, you came back. Are you good with this?
Yeah.
X over 100. Good job. Now, 9 over 36, I want you to just look at that and say that reduces to what, please? Yes. Now you should be able to tell me that's the same as what? Good job, girl. We don't need a calculator on sum. Does everybody hear me? You're not getting smarter if you use your calculator on 1/4. Come on, we're not doing that. You're not doing 1/4 and tell me that's 25% with a calculator. You know that's 25%. All right, we don't have a calculator for that. All right? All right. Number 9, Ellis, let's let you get involved. Good. Beautiful work. Now look, you're thinking about too much right now, right? So let's just go ahead and cross multiply. You know what I'm saying, right? Right? Because honestly, I don't. It's just, you know what I mean. I would rather just cross multiply. All right? Because I don't see 42 going into 100 as easy, right? You agree with me? All right. So you're going to say what? X equals. What do I do first? $100 times 28, right? And then do what? Divided by 42. Is that making sense or not? You sure you're okay with that? So you cross multiply 28 times 100, and then you divide it by 42. Always. Shh. Now do that for me, Alice, and tell me what that comes out to be. I'm listening. Does it say 33.3 repeating or something like that? What did you get? Anybody else get that? So do this again. Do it again. You just might have made a mistake, Alice. It's not a big deal. Do 100 times 28 on your calculator. Shh. 100 times 28 and then divide it by 42. Is that 66 or? Now, sometimes on the calculator, you have to hit the clear button a couple times because hitting clear once just clears out the last operation. So 100 times 28, do that again. 100 times 28, and then divided by 42. There you go. There you go. So it is 66.6 repeated, right, guys? Come on now. I want you to be smarter than 0.6 repeated. 0.6 repeated, you should know, is what fraction? 2/3. So here's how I would like for you to write it. 66 2/3%. All right, does everybody understand 0.6 repeating is what? 2/3. Is everybody happy with that explanation? Ellis, now, you got to tell me, am I okay with that? You understand what I'm saying? All right. What? Yes. But you always ask me things because you're not listening. I said I want you to be super smart, right? So instead of making it 66.7%, you already know that 0.6 repeating is what fraction? So why do I want you to write it? Because most people don't know that, Sebastian. Right? So if you put 66.7% on the test, I'm going to be okay with that. If you put 66 2/3% on the test, I'm going to go, wow, Sebastian listens. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All right? Now, number 10. Here we go. I'll let you go. Yep. Yep. Beautiful. All right. Good. Good. Repeated? So 29.2 repeated. What fraction is 0.2 repeated? 2/9. Right. So I would want you to write 29 2/9% because you're brilliant. Sebastian, you could write down 29.2% if you wanted. Is everybody hearing me? But because we're smart, anything repeated is over 9. Okay? That's how I want. All right? Now, moving into the next one. We have some problems.
Number
11. Tell me what to do. 8 over x You are amazing, girl. 40 over 100. Exactly. Can you look at that and tell me the answer? How did I get from 40 to 8? What did I do?
Oh, that would be 2.
Yes, 20. 20, right?
Yes.
All right. Because you divided by 5. Now, go ahead, tell me.
Why is I have a question actually.
That's why I'm listening.
Why is it 8 over x to divide?
Because listen to me. Look, the percent is no big deal, right? That's 40 over 100. That's what that means. Do you agree?
Oh, all right.
You with me? Now, it's been different on the last problems because you were finding the percent.
All right.
Now you have to find the number. All right?
Oh,
Are you finding the part or are you finding the whole? In this particular case, we said 8, right, is the part.
Yeah.
We're trying to find the whole. Everybody good on that? Julia, you good back there? Jesse? All right, here we go. Let's take a look at number 12. Caroline, you're up. 16 over x. Good. So now what do I do? Good. Yes, good job. How much? Anybody else get 20? What did you guys get? Is that what you got? Okay, 320 is 320 it is. Everybody good with that? Alrighty. Colin, you want to set up number 13 for me?
Okay.
What would you do?
Alright, so 80 over 100
Perfect.
equals 25 over x.
You're awesome. All right. Now what can I do?
In this case, we cross multiply.
I think you're right. So we would say x is equal to
X is equal to 25 times 100
and then what?
over 80.
You're awesome. And then I'm waiting for you to tell me what that answer is.
And the answer would be 31.25, or as you would like us to put it, 31
Mm-hmm.
1/4.
I'm really happy with you, buddy. 31 1/4%. Very good. Oh, I made a mistake. Listen to me. First mistake. Are we looking? Is it a percent problem? No. So the answer is just what? 31.25. Right. So let me say something on this. It's not asking for a percent. We just have been doing percentages, so I just threw a percent on by accident. All right. Now the question is, does it matter if you leave it as 31.25 or 31 1/4? It doesn't matter. All right. If you want to put it as 31.25, I'm totally fine with that. Yes. Pay attention. All right. Yes.
How did you get that answer?
I multiplied 25 times 100.
And then divided by 8.
So do that right now on your calculator and double check yourself. Got a question?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so dumb. I put 100 on the bottom instead of like
Here we go.
25 minutes.
It's called learning. That's what that's called. All right. Go ahead, Sebastian. Set this one up. Shh. Hey. 0.84 over x. Very nice work, buddy. Is everybody good with that? That's the answer. 3. Now again, the idea, do the problems. Work them all out. It's the same thing. All right? Will, go ahead. I want you to do 15. Go. 71 over x, 10 over 100. Yeah, I would do that for sure. So I can reduce that. Yeah, so 71 times 10 is the answer. Because when you divide by 1, it's the same thing, right? Shh, shh. So it's what? 710 is absolutely correct. All right. Julian, up here.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you're gonna do 97 over x, or over 100, and then you're gonna do x over 52.
Well, remember, now here's what I want you.
Oh, 52. So that's gonna be 52 over x.
Yes. You hear me?
Yes.
Now what am I multiplying together?
And so you're multiplying 100 times 52.
100 times 52, and then what?
Yeah, and then you're gonna divide it by 97.
Good job.
So
do that real quick.
that is 53.6.
All right, so I'm happy. 53.6.
But isn't no, it's 6.
Yeah.
It's exactly 0.6, right? Stop. You know, there's no sarcasm up here. You're learning. All right? Enough. All right, 17. Jesse, set it up.
So you would do 39 over x and 17 over 100.
Good job, girl. So now what?
And now you could multiply,
And so?
and then so you would do 39 times 100
Divided by what?
divided by 17.
That's what I want. Tell me what that comes out to be.
I got 29.5.
Point. Rounded it to 5. You with me? Is it 1 after the 4 or what?
Yeah, it was
229.4 what?
0.41.
So it doesn't go up to
Oh,
5.
no.
It just stays what?
Just stays.
Perfect. That's what we're doing. Correcting the minor mistakes. Correcting the minor mistakes. All right, we're rounding that to the nearest tenth, so I'm okay with 229.4. All right? All right, Julian.
It would be 12 over x, then 4 over 100.
Beautiful.
Then you would multiply 100 times 12, which would give you.
Then what? Then what?
And then it would be, then you would divide by 4.
So you should be able to look at that and say
Which
that's
would give you 400 or 300.
300 is correct. All right, now if you want, you could reduce. Yes, you can reduce 4 over 100 also, if you want. Okay? All right, now a little bit harder. No, not yet. Same problem actually. All right, Vivian, go ahead. 19, set it up.
So
7 over 100, 48.5 over x. So my answer, what am I going to do?
So you do 100 times 48.5.
Good. And then what?
Divided by 7.
And then my answer is
69.
Say it again. How much? 69.3. Is everybody happy with that answer?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. So tell me again.
692.
Is that right? 692.9? All right, I'm happy. All right, just be careful. That's all. All right. Now, so we have a new type of problem, I believe, right? So let me hear it, Max. What do you think about this one?
So,
Look up, please.
number 20.
Yeah.
You do, let's see, what is 10.6%?
You do x
X over 100.
11
X over 11
is equal to.
equals,
Look up and just look at it.
10.6 over 100.
Does everybody see that now, right?
Is it
It's the
this?
is over of. Is over of. But what number is with the is? We don't know, right? So that's why that's the variable x. Everybody happy with that explanation?
So of is
Right.
X on the top.
And then,
is-
yes, that's why a lot of teachers teach it is over of. I like to say part to whole. All right? And so now,
So 10.6 times 11
good job. 10.6 times 11, and then what?
is 116.
Then divided by,
Divided by 100 is 1.6 or 1.166.
so we could say 1.2. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
About 1.2?
Oh, so now you divide it by 100.
Yes, then you divide by 100. Right? All right, Connor, why don't you set up 21 for me?
So do x over 100, and then
Uh-oh. I don't think x over 100. X over what?
15.
No. Come on now. 15%, right? So 15% means 15 over 100. You with me on this? And now is over of. X over. Yes, sir. You with me now? All right. So cross multiply. What do I have to multiply, Connor?
15,
Good. Over.
100,
Yes, sir. Tell me what that is, please. What is that? All right, guys. Listen. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to tell you the homework. Sit tight. What was it, Connor?
14.7.
Now, listen. What I want to do is the odds tonight. All right, on 1 through 24. I want you to do odds. Everybody hear me? Just the odds. Just the odds. Now, notice I set every single one of them up. What do you have to do?
Set
Every single one up. Then you can use the calculator. Okay, 14.9. Yeah, if you borrowed one of my calculators I want to put up, please.